So this is that video would be well a little bit. So basically, I would talk about weird SMGs made by Soviets during World War II. Now, the most interesting is let's talk about the first one, and it's LAD, which is actually abbreviation of three designers who made this. Let me just. It's uh, it was, but technically it was designed for assault close quarters fight (CQB). It was made by F. Luty Afanasyev Ideikin. It it was not bad. It was actually it kind of was cheap. And if we talk about of PPSH 41, that was let's say it was a little bit more not cheap during wartime production, so it was simplified technique, but it was too late, too good, but late, because it was, although it passed, but it never technically adopted, because in 1943 Grau, aka is the Soviet no, well, the guys who decide what gun pass the test and can be put in production and what not, they were more looking into the intermediate cartridge, which wasn't the case of LED, because it was made in 7.62 by 25 Tokarev. The next on our list is PPD-40, but not the ones that you would expect, because it's a special modification made by DCCZ, Дальневосточный судостроительный завод, and it was modified to have a bayonet. It was around 650 or so made. Now the question is, why does it need a bayonet? I don't know. No, maybe because they saw what the Japanese use during, because but it was unlikely. Third on our list is the PPSH2, or correctly should be said PPSH 42 and 45B, of course. Now, those guns made by Shpagin himself, and they were more into like, yeah, PPSH was heavy, I know, and it was actually about PPSH 2 too. But PPSH 45 was designed to use by paratroopers, more look like Fallschirm FG42, but instead of making a rifle, they were tasked to make they were tasked to make the SMG, and as you know, they're not past the production, but let's look at the problems, at least on PPSH 45. Now, instead of traditional stock, it was designed with foldable skeleton stock. Now, if you know anything about using a drum mag and having a stock SMG, it was not ideal in suppressing, recoil. And so it was, although it was tested with the 45 round 35, you guess it is the stock with the stick max, it wasn't it wasn't adopted, because Why the hell they would need? Because Sudaev made a SMG that could be that foldable, can be used foldable, and can be used by paratroopers. The same problem was actually with PPSH2 because also it also wasn't adopted. The third one is let's say the fourth on our parade of ugliness was the Yazikov SMG. Now, what's Yazikov SMG? Someone asked. It's, let's say it was a special made in 1943 SMG made to use by tankers, by tank squads, tank brigades, and tank crews to be, since carrying around because pistols. I don't know why Yazikov made it, but the problem is that it was insane rate of fire. It was approximately, it have around to 100 or 100 1000 or 1000 to 200 rates per RPM, but which was necessary, which basically was mean, and it was actually tested, Yazikov. But yeah, they were saying, no, Yazikov, you need to make it less so it wouldn't deplete ammunition of tankers. And so what does Yazikov say? He made a bigger fire rate, and so it was also ultimately scrapped. Now there was actually the fourth SMG is PPD 1944, but not made by Degtyarev, but instead it was made by Dolganov. It's another gun designer who let's say made it to be used by partisans, but partisan squads, partisan rebellion. But the thing is, in 1944, many of partisans already gone because what should I mention is that it's simple enough to be produced, like Berezin SMG, aka SMG Uragan. What was it adopted? Also no. Now, if somebody asks me what that's SMG, hey, you kind of forgot the one SMG, and I say yes, it's PPK-41, aka PPD, Pistolet Pulemyot Korovina, not Kalashnikov. Kalashnikov at the time it was presented, he was fighting in Vyazma as a tank. The gun was produced quickly, around 1000 made by Tula Arms and used by Tula militia to defend Tula. Now, technically it was a predecessor to PPS 42 and PPS 43 because it was also made of a stampel metal and used 30 round mag segment. And finally, let's talk about PPK-42, which was first attempt of Kalashnikov to firearms world. Now, PPK-42, aka Kalashnikov, Pistolet Pulemyot Kalashnikov, was designed when he was already decommissioned from active duty as a tanker. He was sent to the Kazakhstan and he began working on it. Although it's in 1943 when he presented, it was competing against Tokarev, Sudaev, and others. But ultimately, it wasn't deemed too not too complex. It was actually kind of simple, but it was kind of not cheap to make. Basically, you can make, but well, yeah, and it was ultimately rejected. Now, where to find some of them? Now, PPK-42 have its own museum expansion in the Kalashnikov Museum in Izhevsk. Two of the last SMGs are in the St. Petersburg Museum of Artillery and yeah, yeah, and so yeah, that's and so, but yeah, I also didn't mention other SMGs. Well, technically, two SMGs. One was made by Degtyarev in 1929, and one made in 1927 by Tokarev. About the PPD 1929, it was scaled down. Basically, it was scaled down version of DP27 because it also used pan-fed mags. Pretty much has what been found on 1960s by American 180. Yeah, I would actually maybe make a video someday about it. And and so it was pan-fed, but ultimately it was rejected. Same happened with PPD-27 because, but PPD-27, unlike, it was used 25 round mag and, and a foregrip. Not your typical foregrip, but basically foregrip was merged with the magazine. And so it was kind of interesting because the problem was with them is that they were rejected because Soviet army didn't think about well, why do we well, yeah, I'm kind of tired right now. And so why do we need some machine portable machine guns when we can arm everyone with Mosins? And well, you know where this was in Winter War, but yeah, that's kind of like what I was talking about. And so I don't know. I actually would make a poll if somebody wants to, to see what I can talk about. But to be aware, I might film something in Moscow because tomorrow I will go on the train 23 hours and I will be in Moscow for around till the next Monday. And so, see you later and well, goodbye.